Hello friends. Today we are going to discuss here unit number 6, import and export trade procedures. For your book number COM 106, you will find here every country has needs to be import and export also. Here you will find such types of imports and export. The nature of foreign trade is somewhat different from the domestic trade also. There might be some difference of domestic trade also here, and domestic trade is known as the internal or the trade in which in that country only. And sometimes each and every country in the world, includes in India, it has very close connections with the foreign trade also. Therefore, they are going to take a brief look into the trade, and in this unit, we will study the meaning of foreign trade and its need and its distinct nature from the domestic trade also. Here, the definition of foreign trade is also given here. When the purchase and sale of the goods services take place among the business organization of two or more countries, then the such type of trade is called foreign trade also here. It is also known as international trade here. It includes import trade, export trade, and interport trade here. There is also import trade means buying goods or services from other countries, and business institutions of the other country is termed as import trade here. Then the export trade means here the selling of the goods or services to other country or other countries' business institutions. Trade is called export trade here. Then here the interport trade, importing goods or services from the other countries for export purpose, is known as the interport trade here. In short, foreign trade for buying the goods means import, selling means export, and buying goods for selling purpose is known as interport trade here. There is also difference between internal domestic trade and foreign trade. Though the factors of buying and selling of goods and services in the same of the both trade, there is difference between the fractions nature, functions nature, transactions, mode of exchange of these domestic, that means internal domestic trade and foreign trades also. There are some 16 points of these differences. First point is that of area. In domestic trade, it is limited to the domestic or internal market only. The trade takes place between the domestic traders and institutions only. While the foreign trade is concerned with the worldwide foreign market, and it takes the person trade institutions, government, at least two countries are there is also. Then second point is that of currency. In domestic trade, problems don't arise as the trade takes in the place in the domestic currency, but in the other hand, foreign trade takes place only with the help of the foreign currency only. Then there is third point, that of domiciliation. Here, the domestic trade takes place within the country, and therefore, for trading purpose, it is not needed to get separate license. The trader can sell or purchase goods freely, but as foreign trade is between the two countries, the governmental license for the import and export trade must be there. Then fourth point of difference is that of trade volume. In the domestic trade, you will find the volume of the trade is wholesale and retail in nature. But in foreign trade, the transactions are in the form of wholesale trade only. Retail is not profitable in the foreign trade as the distance between the two countries and transportation costs and complexities in the trade business are involved there. Then there is a fifth point of difference is that of control. In domestic trade, there are no special controlling measures for the business which can be started in the private sector. The facilities which are provided by the government through the public services are within the framework of laws only. While the trader can carry out the buying and selling activities also. Then sixth point is that of transactions. In domestic trade, trucks, tempos, railway, water and sea are useful for the transportation. Here is the spelling wrong one. Instead of transaction, there should be transportation. It is printing mistake one. transportation. Instead of transportation, it is printed as transaction here. But here, on the other hand, the foreign trade, mainly sea transportation, is useful for the valuable and lightweight articles. Aeroplanes are usual. Then seventh point of difference is conveyances. The domestic trade is more convenient as the procedure is not so complex one because of the limited area, domestic currency, the value of the volume, wholesale and retail trade. While the other traders, retailers also carry out such buying and selling transactions easily also. Then here, on the other hand, the nature of the foreign trade is foreign more complex because due to the difficulty of such various factors such as vast international area, need of foreign currency, transportation, etc. Then there is a price of community commodity, price of commodity. This is the eighth factor of differences. Normally, the domestic trade and the price of the commodity is paid after completion of the sales transaction. Generally, the question does not arise about the little title of the commodity, the price of the commodity, and the is paid in the domestic currency only. In the other hand, in foreign trade, the trader takes possession of the goods only after completing the formalities. For example, on the arrival of the goods in part, the import trader either deposit the price of the goods in the bank or gives the acceptance to a bill of exchange or acquire the title of documents. It takes so much time also due to this long distance, and therefore it takes more time to get price of the goods also. Then there is 9 point of difference is that of degree of risk here. In domestic trade, the transportation distance is comparatively less. The risk of natural calamity is also very low, and in the very short period, the time of purchase gets possession of the goods and seller gets price of the commodities here. Other hand, the foreign trade, whose distance is very long, there is high possibility of the risk of natural calamity as the main mode of transport is sea transport. Due to this, it may take to get possession of the goods and purchase of the gate price of the goods also. Then there is 10 point of credit facility difference point here. In domestic trade, personal relations are established among the traders. Therefore, credit facility is given. But in foreign trade, normally the traders do not recognize each other. Apart from that, their middlemen like indent houses, import-export traders, representatives. Therefore, import does not get much credit facility, and the importer has to send the letter of credit or guarantee letter to the export also. Then there is also next point is that of one here you will find the 11th point is that of here is given that of taxes here. And those point in domestic trade, there are very less and restrictions from the government. Normally, the transactions are completed lawfully, and according to the government charges tax, it does not have negative impact on the trade. But there are governmental restrictions on the foreign trade, and import duty affect the international trade. Free economic system plays an important role here also. Then 12th point is effect on the trade also. The growth of the domestic trade does not have any efficient foreign trade. The price the fluctuations in the domestic trade do not affect the foreign trade also. The country's tradition and customs culture, market, etc. also do not make much impact on the foreign trade also. On the other hand, the foreign trade affects the domestic trade became because of distribution of imported goods are made to the domestic trade only. There is a direct impact or import or export on the prices of domestic goods as each country has different types of cultures and traditions, customs, nature, market, availability of the goods, etc. This type of trade is affected one. Then 13th point is that of language barrier. In domestic trade, language does not create much problem. Though there are different regional languages, the transactions can be completed either by using Hindi or national language or by using English language also. On the other hand, many countries are involved in the foreign trade and each of these countries have different languages. Obviously, the selling literature is very used for printing one, and though the English is the intimatic language, international language, it is not used in all countries or at all the time. Then there is a 14 point of difference in that position of goods also. In domestic trade, transportation is made faster rate due to the comparatively short distance and high speed of means of transport here. The buyer also gets the possession of these goods within the short period also. On the other hand, the foreign trade takes more time to get possessions of the goods and the buyer due to the long distance because of limited speed in case of ship and the transportation due to the fact that of document of the title can be secured only after arrival of the goods at the port also and after completing such types of customs facility also. Then there is a 15 point of government policy here. Generally, in domestic trade, there are few restrictions, but this is not so within the foreign trade. Government and trade policies affect the foreign trade by taking into account of national and international environment of each country decides foreign trade policy. According to that, government decides the guidelines about the which product is to be imported and which product is not to be imported, conversion of the currency, and this has impact of foreign trade also. Then there is 16 point of difference that is availability of information. The scope of domestic market comparatively limited. Therefore, information about the customers and market may be available from various sources like research, trade unions, journals, government publications, etc. On the other hand, the foreign trade, it is not possible to get everyone the information about the customers and markets, and the scope of the foreign market is unlimited. Getting such types of analyzing requirements may be difficult one. So these are the some points of differences between internal or domestic trade and foreign trade. मराठीमध्ये ज्याला आपण आयात निर्यात व्यापार म्हणतो, त्यामध्ये प्रामुख्याने 2 किंवा त्यापेक्षा अधिक देशातील व्यवसाय संस्थांमध्ये जो व्यापार होतो त्याला आपण आयात निर्यात व्यापार असं म्हणतो. अंतर्गत व्यापार आणि विदेशी व्यापार यामध्ये फरक आहे. वस्तू आणि सेवा खरेदी विक्री घटक दोन्ही प्रकारच्या व्यापारामध्ये समान असला तरी त्याची कार्यपद्धती आणि व्यवहार माध्यम, विनिमय माध्यम अशा अनेक बाबीमध्ये भिन्नता आढळते. तर हे जे मुद्दे आहेत त्यातले अंतर्गत व्यापार आणि विदेशी व्यापार यामध्ये एकूण 16 मुद्द्यांचा समावेश केला जातो. त्यातला पहिला मुद्दा आहे तो म्हणजे अंतर्गत व्यापाराचं क्षेत्र. अंतर्गत व्यापार क्षेत्र हे मर्यादित असतं, त्यामुळे साहजिकच विदेशी व्यापार किंवा विदेशी व्यापारात हे क्षेत्र मर्यादित असतं. दुसरं चलन. अंतर्गत व्यापारात स्वदेशी चलनाचा व्यवहार होतो, तर विदेशी व्यापारात त्या देशाचं चलन, परकीय चलन किंवा त्याचं रूपांतर करून ते चलन वापरलं जातं. तिसरा फरकाचा मुद्दा आहे तो म्हणजे प्रामुख्याने यातला परवाना. अंतर्गत व्यापारात देशांतर्गत असल्यानं केवळ व्यापारासाठी स्वतंत्र परवाना मिळवण्याची गरज नसते. त्यामध्ये व्यापारी वस्तू सेवा खरेदी मुक्तपणे केली जाऊ शकते. या उलट विदेशी व्यापारात मात्र आयात निर्यात व्यापारासाठी सरकारकडून तशा प्रकारचा आयात परवाना किंवा निर्यात परवाना मिळवावा लागतो. चौथा फरकाचा मुद्दा तो आहे म्हणजे व्यवहारांचं प्रमाण. अंतर्गत व्यापारात घाऊक किंवा किरकोळ अशा स्वरूपाचं हे व्यवहाराचं प्रमाण असू शकतं, परंतु या विदेशी व्यापारात अशा प्रकारचं प्रमाण जे आहे त्यामध्ये अनेक प्रकारची गुंतागुंत असल्याने केवळ घाऊक प्रमाणातच विदेशी व्यापार होऊ शकतो. त्यानंतर पाचवा मुद्दा तो आहे म्हणजे नियंत्रण. अंतर्गत व्यापारात खाजगी क्षेत्राचे व्यवसाय सुरू केले जाऊ शकतात, त्यामध्ये सरकारने उपलब्ध करून दिलेल्या सार्वजनिक सेवा यावर विशेष नियंत्रण नसतात, परंतु विदेशी व्यापारात मात्र अशा प्रकारचं नियंत्रण हे मोठ्या प्रमाणावर पाळलं जातं. सहावा फरकाचा मुद्दा आहे तो म्हणजे वाहतूक सोयी. अंतर्गत व्यापारात ट्रक, टेम्पो किंवा रेल्वे किंवा सागरी वाहतूक ही उपयुक्त असते, तर देशी व्यापारासाठी प्रामुख्याने विदेशी व्यापारासाठी सागरी वाहतूक ही महत्वाची मानली जाते, अर्थात त्यामध्ये वेळ देखील जास्त लागतो. सातवा फरकाचा मुद्दा आहे तो म्हणजे सुलभता. अंतर्गत व्यापारात एकूण देशांतर्गत मर्यादित कार्यक्षेत्र, स्वदेशी चलनात किंमत, घाऊक आणि किरकोळ अशा प्रकारचा व्यवहार पद्धती किंवा व्यापार असल्यामुळे प्रचंड त्यामध्ये सहज सुलभता निर्माण होऊ शकते. अतिशय गुंतागुंत किंवा किचकट कार्यपद्धती नसते. या उलट विदेशी व्यापारात मात्र ही कार्यपद्धती किचकट असते, कारण त्यामध्ये परदेशी चलन, नंतर तिथली बाजारपेठ इत्यादी अनेक बाबी असतात. आठवा यातला महत्वाचा मुद्दा फरकाचा म्हणजे वस्तूची किंमत. अंतर्गत व्यापारामध्ये विक्रीचा व्यवहार पूर्ण झाल्यानंतर लगेच त्या वस्तूची किंमत विक्रेत्याला प्राप्त होऊ शकते, परंतु विदेशी व्यापारामध्ये अशा प्रकारची किंमत ही लगेच प्राप्त होऊ शकत नाही, कारण त्यामध्ये काही विशिष्ट फॉर्मॅलिटीज बाबी ह्या पूर्ण कराव्या लागतात. नववा फरकाचा मुद्दा तो आहे म्हणजे धोक्याचं प्रमाण. अंतर्गत व्यापारात वाहतुकीचे अंतर तुलनेने कमी असतं, त्यामुळे साहजिकच नैसर्गिक आपत्तीचा धोका हा अत्यल्प असतो. या उलट विदेशी व्यापारामध्ये नैसर्गिक आपत्ती ही समुद्राद्वारे वाहतूक होत असल्यामुळे काही वेळा जास्त होण्याची शक्यता आहे, त्यामुळे मालाचं नुकसान हे मोठ्या प्रमाणावर होऊ शकतं, म्हणजे धोका जास्त असतो. उधारीची सवलत हा 10वा मुद्दा आहे यातला. अर्थात अंतर्गत किंवा देशी व्यापारामध्ये व्यापारी हे परस्पर ओळखीचे असल्यामुळं किंवा अंतर कमी असल्यामुळं त्या ठिकाणी अंतर्गत उधारीची सवलत दिली जाऊ शकते. या विदेशी व्यापारामध्ये 2 व्यापारी म्हणजे परदेशातला किंवा भारतीय व्यापारी परस्परांना तसे ओळखत नसतात, त्यामुळं अशा प्रकारची उधारीची सवलत या विदेशी व्यापारामध्ये शक्यतो दिली जात नाही. त्यानंतर कर आकारणी हा 11वा मुद्दा आहे. अंतर्गत व्यापारात सरकारची विशेष बंधने नसतात किंवा सरकारने ठरवून दिलेले कर त्यामध्ये व्यापाऱ्याला भरावे लागतात. या उलट विदेशी व्यापारात मात्र 2 देशातील व्यापार पद्धती, कर पद्धती भिन्न असल्यामुळे त्या ठिकाणी दोन्ही देशातील कर पद्धती अवलंब केला जात असल्यामुळे कर आकारणी प्रामुख्याने जास्त असते. त्यानंतर व्यापारावर परिणाम. अंतर्गत व्यापार वृद्धीचा परिणाम विदेशी व्यापारावर जास्त होत नाही. या उलट विदेशी व्यापाराचा परिणाम देशी अंतर्गत व्यापारावर होऊ शकतो. त्यानंतर 13वा मुद्दा तो आहे म्हणजे भाषेची अडचण. शक्यतो अंतर्गत देशी व्यापारात फारसा भाषेचा अपव्यय किंवा अडथळा येत नाही, कारण यामध्ये इंग्रजी किंवा त्या प्रादेशिक भाषेचा वापर किंवा हिंदीचा वापर यामध्ये केला जाऊ शकतो. या उलट विदेशी व्यापारामध्ये प्रत्येक देशाची भाषा वेगळी असल्यामुळे शक्यतो त्या ठिकाणी भाषेची अडचण निर्माण होऊ शकते. अर्थात इंग्रजी जरी जागतिक भाषा मानली जात असली तर त्या ठिकाणी प्रत्येक देशात इंग्रजी वापरतातच असं नाही. 14वा मुद्दा आहे तो वस्तूचा ताबा. अंतर्गत ताबा हा ग्राहकांना किंवा विक्रेत्याला देता येऊ शकतो, कारण त्यामध्ये अंतर्गत व्यापार पद्धतीमध्ये फारसा विलंब. या उलट विदेशी व्यापार पद्धतीमध्ये वाहतुकीचं साधन हे प्रामुख्याने शिप किंवा जहाज बोट असल्यामुळे त्यामध्ये जास्त वेळ लागतो आणि त्याचा परिणाम वस्तूचा ताबा ग्राहकांना किंवा त्या विक्रेत्याला वस्तूची किंमत मिळणं हे लगेच शक्य होत नाही, कारण देशी व्यापारामध्ये फारशा प्रक्रिया पूर्ण कराव्या लागत नाहीत. या उलट विदेशी व्यापारामध्ये या ठिकाणी अनेक प्रक्रिया पूर्ण कराव्या लागतात आणि त्यामुळं साहजिकच त्या ठिकाणी अनेक प्रक्रियांचा त्या ठिकाणी उल्लेख करावा लागतो. या उलट सरकारी धोरण हा 15वा मुद्दा आहे यातला. यामध्ये प्रामुख्याने सर्वसाधारणपणे अंतर्गत व्यापारात सरकारची विशेष बंधने नसतात. विदेशी व्यापारामध्ये मात्र अशा प्रकारची अनेक प्रकारची बंधनं त्यामध्ये असू शकतात. त्यानंतर 16वा यातला मुद्दा जो आहे म्हणजे या ठिकाणी माहिती आणि आकडेवारीची उपलब्धता. माहिती आधुनिक युगामध्ये अंतर्गत व्यापारात बाजारपेठेची व्याप्ती तुलनेने मर्यादित असल्यामुळे साहजिकच त्या ठिकाणी ग्राहक आणि बाजारपेठ विषयी माहिती ही प्राप्त होऊ शकते. त्यामध्ये वर्तमानपत्र किंवा सरकारी प्रकाशने, नियतकालिके इत्यादीद्वारे माहिती प्राप्त होऊ शकते. त्या उलट विदेशी व्यापारात अशा प्रकारची माहिती ही शक्यतो प्राप्त होऊ शकत नाही, कारण त्या ठिकाणी सरकारने जर माहिती दिली तरच त्यामध्ये ही माहिती प्राप्त होऊ शकते. Then there is also some point of next discussion is about the need for foreign trade. There is need for the foreign trade. There are some points as the modern world, no country is self-sufficient one. Therefore, all these countries required to carry out the import and export of goods, services. No country can be separate, stay aloof from the rest of the world. Every country has different thinking process, culture, political and social conditions also. In such way, the countries are come closer and trading purpose, and no country of the world itself sufficient, and there is need of foreign trade also. There are some reasons of these needs also. There are some points here of these reasons for the international trade or foreign trade. There are 7 points of these here. First one is large scale production. As there are tremendous and changes in the production of production process due to the modernization, automation, impact of specialization, the new techniques and technology, etc. Large scale production is taking place in the business unit also. As such, goods can be sold in the foreign market, and procedures can get benefit of the large scale production also. Then second point is that of division of natural resources there. There are some division of natural resources. There are some points here. The division of natural resources, that means here the division of also weather conditions, rainfalls and conditions of land, etc. factors are different natures in the country. Therefore, in one country, the production of one article is ample, but another country it cannot be commodity in the same of the country. In such country, the producer can sells the surplus goods to the other countries also. Then third point of this reason is specialization. Particular country is known for the particular product if the factors and reasons are required to the procedure that commodity are favorable in that country. Just like here in India, we get benefit of the specification of products like tea, clothes and spices, etc. Due to this, foreign trade is more and more specialization takes place also. Then fourth point of this is known as the boost to the industrialization. Foreign trade accelerates to the process of industrialization and different countries, industry under the underdeveloped nations get opportunity to make industries progress when the developed countries provides advanced machines and techniques to such countries also. So this is also one of the need for the foreign trade also. Then fifth point is that of economic and industrial progress. According to the economic and industrial progress, there are two groups here, developed, developing, three groups here, developed, developing and underdeveloped countries. Then there is also sixth point of this need is also the foreign currency. As per the requirement of the foreign trade, there needs the foreign currency also, and that foreign currency can be available only after the foreign trade. Due to the foreign currencies earned out of exports and import also. Then there is seventh point of this one is that of here is the international cooperation. With mutual cooperation at the international level, it is possible to exchange thoughts and information of the technical know-how by establishing such international and domestic and foreign trade also. There are some benefits of these trades also here. Here is there are some points here. The advantages of foreign trade. There are 15 points of these such points are there, and those points are here. Some points are maybe discussed here. First one is goods which are not produced can be available by the foreign trade also. Then second point is excess production goods are sold by foreign market also. Then third one is by making the maximum use of available natural resources. Fourth one is all types of goods can be consumed by the people. Fifth is feature of division of labor. Sixth is foreign trade powers useful from the economic point of view. Then second is that of the foreign trade payows the useful from economic and political development also. Then sixth, seventh is benefit of large scale production also. Then eighth point is that of developing and underdeveloping nations get help from the developed nations also. Then ninth point is that of the it helps to maintain international stability in certain extent also. Then there is also tenth point is that of the first tenth point is as there is competition in the world market, producers try to produce the best quality goods and try to increase the industrial capacity also. There is 11th point is that the foreign schemes is issued with the help of the foreign trade. Due to this, there is also benefit to the foreign and in national trade also. 12th point is that of it becomes easy to get economic support from the developed nations to the international finance institutions also. Then 13th point is it helps to the developing in the transport and communication field also. 14th point is that of the help enhance the feeling of the cooperation among the various countries also. And 15th point is that of foreign trade boost to the domestic trade also. So these are the some points of benefit to the foreign trade also. Then the procedure of import and export procedures here. This type of process is involved in the foreign currency also. Generally, the government policy is to restrictions on the import and uh, incentive to the export also. Maharashtra state and export also. Then there are some selected addresses and they are given here for the acquiring import license, machineries and raw material. Then for export license, then just like SHM is there. Then additional information by Maratha Chamber of Commerce, Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, and Maratha Chamber of Commerce also. The new import and export policies, EXIM is there. The Minister for Commerce and Industry has announced the import and export policy in 2000 here also. There is an overview import and export policy also. At the end of unit, you will find there are words and their meanings are also given at the end of each unit. Those here, first one is known as foreign trade, then import trade, then export trade. Then here you will find such type of next one is interport trade. Those words and their meanings are given here also, and those are the some words and their meanings. मराठीमध्ये ज्याला आपण त्या ठिकाणी निर्यात व्यापार आणि आयात व्यापाराची जी कारण आहेत त्यामध्ये विदेशी व्यापाराची महत्व जे आहे किंवा त्याची गरज कोणत्या कारणासाठी आहे त्यामध्ये अनेक कारण सांगितली जातात. त्यामध्ये जे महत्वाचे मुद्दे आहेत त्यामध्ये मोठ्या प्रमाणावरील उत्पादन, त्यानंतर नैसर्गिक साधन सामग्रीची विभागणी, त्यानंतर तिसरा मुद्दा यातला आहे तो म्हणजे विशेषीकरण. एखादी विशिष्ट वस्तू विशेष देशामध्ये विशिष्ट पद्धतीने तयार केली जाते आणि त्यामुळे त्या वस्तूचं नावलौकिक किंवा गुणवत्ता चांगली येते. जसं भारतातील चहा, कापड किंवा मसाल्याचे पदार्थ हे आपण निर्यातीसाठी मोठ्या प्रमाणात वापरू शकतो. त्यानंतर चौथा मुद्दा यातला आहे म्हणजे औद्योगिकरणाला उत्तेजन देणे. विदेश व्यापारामुळे विविध देशातील औद्योगिकरणाला प्रक्रियेला चालना मिळते. औद्योगिक दृष्ट्या अप्रगत असलेल्या देशांना त्यापासून त्याचा फायदा होऊ शकतो. पाचवा मुद्दा आर्थिक आणि औद्योगिक सुधारणा करता येऊ शकतात. त्यामध्ये औद्योगिक सुधारणा प्रगतीनुसार देशाचे 3 प्रकार पडतात: विकसित देश, विकसनशील देश आणि अविकसित देश. त्यानंतर परकीय चलनाची आवश्यकता या विदेशी व्यापारामुळे निर्माण झालेली असल्याने ती यामुळे पूर्ण होऊ शकते. साहजिकच विदेशी व्यापारात वस्तूची किंमत अदा करण्यासाठी विक्रेत्याला विदेशी चलनाची व्यवस्था करावी लागते. त्यामुळे साहजिकच देशात विदेशी चलन प्राप्त होऊ शकतं. आंतरराष्ट्रीय सहकार्य त्यामध्ये लाभलं जाऊ शकतं. विदेशी व्यापाराचे जे फायदे आहेत त्यामध्ये अनेक प्रकारचे मुद्दे आपल्याला स्पष्ट करता येतात. त्यामुळे जे देशात त्या वस्तूचे उत्पादन होत नाही अशी वस्तू विदेशी व्यापारामुळे त्या देशातील नागरिकांना प्राप्त होऊ शकते. दुसरा फायदा विपुल प्रमाणात उत्पादनामुळे वस्तूची विदेशी बाजारपेठेत विक्री करून परकीय चलन मिळवता येतं. तिसरा फायदा देशातील नैसर्गिक साधन संपत्तीचा पूर्ण वापर करता येऊ शकतो. चौथा देशातील व्यक्तींना सर्व प्रकारच्या वस्तूंचा उपभोग घेता येतो. श्रम विभागणीमुळे वैशिष्ट्यीकरणास चालना मिळू शकते. हा पाचवा फायदा. आर्थिक आणि औद्योगिक विकासाच्या दृष्टीने विदेश व्यापार उपयुक्त ठरू शकतो. Now we shall stop here.